So it's been a while since I did a video on the absolute DC universe. At the time there was only maybe a couple of issues of Absolute Batman and Wonder Woman, and I think the issue of Superman didn't come out at that time. I prefaced that it wasn't for me, you know? I wasn't really going at it with a whole lot of spiteful energy into it. Time has passed, some more issues have come up, they've started doing more characters in this absolute universe. At the time of this recording, Absolute Flash, his first issue came out. Some more issues for the Trinity have kind of come and go. Martian Manhunter is supposed to get a book within the next couple days, and Green Lantern, I believe, is coming in with in the next month or so. So you have more or less a roster that would fit a Justice League, but I'm assuming they're gonna give it a minute before they start toying around with that idea. But that's not the issue here. Um, I don't quite. This is one of these rare times where I feel weird for being in the. How to say this? The minority of a popular thing. I see a whole lot of people dig Absolute Batman. They really love it. But for me, I'm like the exact opposite. I kind of detest it. I feel like it's sort of the worst of the bunch when it comes to the Absolute universe. Superman, I just kind of snore at it because I'm just kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. Wonder Woman is probably the best of the bunch because it feels like true to form to Wonder Woman, despite, the aesthetic changes. It still feels like it maintains the core aspects of Wonder Woman. Flash, I kind of need more issues to really get my mind around it, just to kind of see what the vibe is for that one. And the other ones I haven't read yet because they haven't come out at the time of this recording. But for Batman, I have a very... I just don't quite like it at all. I get very annoyed whenever I see it. It's just this thing that triggers my brain where I look at it with just pure spite. And I'm trying to... I want to find out something. So I'm not trying to come at fans who enjoy this, and give you grief for liking the thing. If you like it, you like it, okay? I'm more trying to figure out the why, and I'm just gonna give off my perspective on this book and what I'm not really big fan of. And I'll let the comments, go on, and people can tell me, why do you like it? What makes you enjoy this particular book? Because this is really what it is. This is me trying to, kind of figure this out a little bit. What prompted this was the recent issue, issue number 6, where in one of the panels, Batman is fighting one of Black Mask's goons, who happens to be a little child, and he punts the little fucker. That's what it is. And that went around the block on Twitter, and it became kind of like a little meme. And typically with memes, they go one of two ways. It's either a forced meme that kind of gets shoved in, and then it just dies really quick because people don't like it, or it's one that feels more natural, more accepting, and people kind of share it around and have a laugh, and they, have a good time with it. That was what this image was. And what that tells me is it has a lot more staying power to it, much to my disappointment. I have to reiterate, I am very opposed to this particular incarnation of Batman for a number of particular reasons. You know, I think one is the changes don't really work in some regards. Not all of them. Some of them I could be like, okay, I'm okay with some of these tweaks in here. But like, the big appeal, I think the big selling point was that this was a Batman that's not rich. You know, like, oh, this Batman is not rich, or this Batman would hate the mainline Batman. That's what Scott Snyder, the creator, said. And it's like, okay, he's not rich, but yet he's still doing these crazy levels of technology and engineering that's like that kind of doesn't really help the he's not a rich guy angle, you know, because he comes out with a Batmobile that's like the size of a house, and he can even transform and stuff. He's got all these like bikes and vehicles or whatnot. He's got this suit that's like really modded out to the core, you know, with all these different attachments and whatnot, which is like, okay, I don't know. I feel like that part is just, I feel like Batman not being rich in this universe is more for PR. It's flair. It's like, hey, Batman is not rich in this universe. He's not a rich guy. So what? So it's totally okay for him to do all this stuff, you know? It just doesn't really feel like it's earned the change. And then, of course, they tweak it where only Bruce's father dies, and his mother's still alive, and she's a supporting character. And it's like, okay, it's a change up, I'll say, but okay, whatever, we're gonna go with that. I know it's not one I typically agree with, but I guess that's what they want to go with. I have no issue with Batman having friends that were rogues of his, like from childhood, you know, because in this one they have it where Croc, Catwoman, Penguin, Riddler, and Harvey, like they're all like friends of his from childhood, and it's like, okay, because I've seen other versions of Batman where he's been friends with certain characters that become his villains or antagonists, you know, like Two-Face and Hush, and even Penguin in the Telltale series. You know, so it's like, I have no issue with that, really. I just, you know, so that's fine there. But, to me, this version of Batman feels like it's what the Zack Snyder fans think Batman should be. It's what the detractors of Batman think he is. This is what people that don't understand Bruce Wayne think he is. Just this psychopath that's going around brutally, nearly killing people, and potentially killing people, while being all edgy and emo, you know? And that's not what I feel Batman should be. Now, I know that a common clapback would be that this is not supposed to be the mainline Batman, so it's a different universe, it's gonna be different. And I understand that, but I feel like Absolute Wonder Woman does this in a way where it's still got so many different flourishes and changes to Diana, but it still feels like Diana. It feels like it's still Wonder Woman. It's the core aspect of Wonder Woman. That's what it is. Here, it doesn't feel like Batman. It just feels like Punisher with a bat logo. You know, like all these weapons that he uses on him, that he always seems to be going for the most hardcore, brutal method first. Like it's like he's always escalating the situation to such a insane degree, you know, brutally chopping off people's limbs and stabbing people with his like porcupine shoulder pads, or stabbing people in the eyes, punting little children off a damn boat 30 feet in the fucking air. You know, I just don't, I just can't see Batman really going that far without some explanation, some context. Because in this one, he just does it. You know, there's no, I don't know. And I'm trying to figure out exactly why do a lot of people, including a lot of my mutuals on Twitter, like this particular incarnation of Batman, and I'm trying to figure it out. Like, I could maybe understand the idea of, okay, it's a new universe, you don't need to have to worry about a lot of lore and backstory to the main universe, so you can start fresh and be like, okay, start from book one, continue on, there you go, there's your reference, go. I can understand that. It's kind of like a thing that people liked with manga, people like it with the new Ultimate Spider-Man, which I'm 1000% sure that that's exactly what DC saw. They were like, okay, let's make our own Ultimate Universe and we'll like go at it with there. And they just gave it to Scott Snyder because, you know, he's made some good stories for him. And beyond that part, I just don't know exactly what really appeals to people beyond that. I don't know. The action, which on its own, it's pretty intense action, but it feels so hollow to me because this feels feels excessive for Batman. Like, if it was, say, like Thomas Wayne Batman, like, it's like, okay, that makes sense. Or if it was Jason Todd doing this shit, okay, but this is supposed to be a variation of Bruce Wayne, and they say he doesn't kill people, even though there's a lot of stuff in here that's like makes you go, I feel like a couple of the people you did these horrible things to are might gonna die, you know? It's kind of like that thing they do with like the Keaton movies and a lot of the other Batman films where they toy around with the idea of him having a no-kill rule, but there's a lot of instances where it's like, yeah, you actively killed people, you know? And I don't know, and I saw that this was like a month or so ago. This was like apparently one of the most best-selling comics DC had. Now I don't know if the numbers are truly legit. I don't know how they measure it, but that kind of just makes me sad. Because I don't want... I know it's like petty of me to say this, but I don't want this to continue because I feel like this will leave a bad impression of what Batman is meant to be. It will taint the waters and make people want to see more of this. From what I see, a very clear, tainted, diluted, warped version of Batman in other media. Like, some people want to see him in a movie, they want to see an animated thing, they want to see this expand, and I'm afraid of that because I don't want it to spread out more than it has already, because I feel that it ruins the image of what Batman is meant to be. Batman is not some psychopath with a fucking battle axe, like running around chopping people's hands off or stabbing people with his million knives. You know, that's what a detractor of Batman is. Like, Batman is meant to be a protector of Gotham, a symbol of hope. You know, he's meant to showcase fear in his enemies. You know, and he's meant to be able to throw down, but he's not meant to be like dismembering fools. You know, and I feel this is like going down the route of hardcore emo edgy like 90s edge that we were just doing just for the shits and giggles. And I don't like it because I feel it taints the idea of what Batman is meant to be. You know, yes, he's meant to be terrifying, he's meant to be scary, but he's also meant to be like a symbol of hope, you know? In this one, I don't feel that symbol of hope. I see the symbol of fear he's supposed to invoke, like he's meant to be this menacing, imposing figure, but I don't see the softer side. I don't see the hopeful part, the part that wants to fix the city up in more than just as Batman, you know? Because in the mainline universe Batman, that Batman, he is not only jumping in and fighting criminals and supervillains and all this stuff, he's also doing good as Bruce Wayne. in one of the most popular one of the, not maybe not popular, but one of the best episodes of Batman the Animated Series, they just had Batman go to a soup kitchen, and he was just helping people, and he just did it. No prompting, no nothing. He just did it. And then when he heard about that homeless people were getting kidnapped for like science experiments, he goes in and, you know, helps them out. And then at the end, he goes, "Hey, look, come to Wayne Enterprises. Maybe I can help you get some jobs." You know, like it's stuff like that. You know, where he's a kind guy that's going to help even as Bruce Wayne. You know, like he can do multiple things. This version of Batman, I feel like, just isn't that. And I know. Alternate universe, different rules, different logic, but I feel like that doesn't work when you already have another character from that same universe that's got it right, I feel. Because like I said, Wonder Woman, despite all the changes, despite being raised by Cersei, raised in hell, you know, and more adept with magic and different weapons and iconography or whatever, it still feels like Wonder Woman. It still feels like Diana, who's just wants to help people. She cuts off her own fucking arm to help Steve Trevor get off the island that she's trapped on. You know, we have her, you know, devote herself into fighting, you know, these crazy monsters and whatnot to protect people. And she's like got a little force in her, but she's very compassionate. She's very, you know, peaceful, diplomatic. You know, it fits Diana's core aspects of her character, despite all these like aesthetic changes. It still feels like Wonder Woman. But with Batman, it doesn't feel like Batman to me. So I just I don't know, man. I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm not trying to jump in on people who like this and stomp on their fun or whatever. I make this video to figure out why. Like the exact reasoning of why. Like, why do you enjoy this? So this is more of an open invitation for you to tell me exactly why do you like this. Because for me, I feel like the stuff that is in this book does not justify its mere existence. Because I feel like Batman in the main line is not in a bad place. It's not such a bad place that we need to create an entire new fucking universe and have this diluted, warped version of him to, like, salvage the Batman brand. I feel like we can still do enough work on the mainline one to fix him up and make him be proper Batman that people like, that enjoy, that will come back for time and time and time again to enjoy, rather than this new version that's very... I don't have a word for it. You know, so I make this video, as I said, as an invitation to see what people like about this guy. You know, I need to know why. I need, like, a reason. I need reasons. You know, like, I need to know, like, why do you like it? Is it because of the story? Is it because you could just start fresh? Is it because of action? Is it because of characters? I need to know these details, because I gotta know why. Like, what is the hook that gets you into this, that makes you not only read it more and more, but makes you go, yeah, I want to see more of this shit. I need to know. But, yeah. That's all I got. So, with that said, please leave your, comments and whatnot down below. I don't know, maybe I might do another video talking about Absolute Batman if the movie rises. But that's all I got to say. Goodbye.